Hey, before this video gets started, I forgot to record this when I recorded the original video, but I want to know, let me know down in the comments below the books that your students are reading, because I need to start adding to my to-read list as summer nears. So below, right now, before you watch the rest of the video, what books are your students reading? Hey friends, thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Colby Sharp. I'm a 5th grade teacher in Michigan, and every month I make a video where I share the books my students are reading. So they're in gym, and I ask them to place all of their books on a table, and I let them know that I wanted to share them with you. All right, let's do this. First up, Toby Goes Bananas. Have not read this book. Looks super funny. Kid reading it seems to be chuckling a little as he's reading it, so that looks fun. A series that we just added to our school library are these Sports Illustrated for Kids Victory School Superstars. It's about all these kids. They go to the same school, I think, and there's all kinds of different books from basketball to swimming to BMX bike, almost all of the sports that you can think of. Kids are devouring these, all grade levels, from kindergarten to 5th. Kids are loving this series. It's exciting. Birdie, which I have not read, but it is a novel in verse, a kid told me today. Looks pretty good, so check it out, Birdie. Next up is Dog Man. This student here completed the Dog Man series today, and he was so excited. He was missing book 2. And he probably told me 27 times in the last month that he didn't have book 2, but he got it. And he's super excited, and I was super excited for him. This kid brings so much energy to the class. Great kid, loves reading, and now he's got the complete set. And then we talked about how the book 7 comes out in August, and we looked it up and showed him the cover again. He was excited about it. But for now, he's got the complete set of Dog Man. He said, I'm going to read them all, Mr. Sharp. I'm just going to read them all. Is that okay? Like, yeah, of course. He's like, I've already read them all, but I got to read them again. That's how Dog Man works. Lots of reading going on. Next up, Love, Sugar, Magic. This is the second book in the series. The first book was In a Dash of Trouble. This is A Sprinkle of Spirits. I read the first book, loved it. I've had a whole bunch of kids read it, which is great. Kids are really digging it. A super fun series. You should check it out. Next up, Lunch Lady. Haven't had a ton of Lunch Lady readers lately. A lot of these kids have read the series 3, 4, 5 times. But as they get close to leaving elementary, I think we're experiencing a lot of rereading favorites, which I think is a great thing to do at the end of the school year. Next up, Kate Messner is The Exact Location of Home. Warmed my heart to see this book being read. Zig, who we first meet in The Brilliant Fall of Gianna Z, is one of my favorite Kate Messner characters, and I love Kate Messner books. So excited that one of my students is reading this. And I realized I'm not sure if we have a copy of The Brilliant Fall of Gianna Z. I know we don't have that cover. If we do have a copy, so I'm going to need to get a new copy of that for sure. Next up, Astronaut Academy by Dave Roman. I just love this glossy cover. Super fun. This is book 2, Re-Entry. Next up, Walk Two Moons by Sharon Creech. This kid loves Sharon Creech. He loved Moo. He loved Saving Winslow, with all of his heart. And he had never read Walk Two Moons, so he got it from our school library. He's digging it. It made me very happy to see. Next up is Wimpy Kid. I'm sure I'm not the only teacher with Wimpy Kid books that look like this. This kid's like, I love this book so much, Mr. Sharp, and he wants to read the new book, the new Rowley book, the diary that Rowley made, but he's waiting. He's next in line for that. So he's rereading some of those. Next up is the graphic novel edition of Kwame Alexander's Newbery Medal-winning book, The Crossover. I have not read this. I knew it was just going to be super popular with the kids, so I just wanted to get it in their hands as soon as possible, and then I'll read it this summer. But I did sit and read with this kid for about 8 or 9 pages today, and I was only going to read for a few pages with him, but the book is so good. It's like I couldn't leave, and I just want to know what was going to happen, and I just wanted to see this beautiful book. So this book is going to knock your socks off. All right, next up, The True Story of Lindy B. Hawkins. This is by Gail Shepard. I have not read this book, but I read the little jacket flap to the kids, and tons of hands shot up. This is on my to-read list. I think it's 3 or 4 in the queue, but it's in my backpack. That's how close it is to me reading it. So pumped about that. Rebound. 5th grade, Kwame's dominating. So kids are loving Rebound, the prequel to the crossover. I don't really need to say anything about it. Just, it's awesome and the kids love it. Next up, The World Ends in April by Stacy McAnulty. McAnulty? Why can't I say that? I'm sorry, Stacy. So many kids, this is really bothering me. I'm going to figure this out. Sorry, I feel like a terrible person. The Miscalculations of Lightning Girl is extremely popular in my class, and we're excited to see. We were excited to see that she has a new book, and it comes out in September, and this is going in my bag this summer. But all these kids are, who read Miscalculations of Lightning Girl, they need to read this before school gets out. Next up, A Good Kind of Trouble. I really, really loved this book myself, and I book talked it, and I've been able to get a few kids to read it. It's a beautiful coming-of-age story. This girl is really trying to figure out her place and where she fits. Her sister's really involved. Her older sister's really involved in Black Lives Matter, and she's just kind of trying to find her place with everything. Great book. Next up, my darling daughter, is reading Gordon Corman's The Unteachables. I am reading this to my afternoon class. These are books from the kids that I have in the morning, and this book is such a fun read aloud. The kids are digging it, and my daughter is loving it as well. Next up, on this book that I have not read, Saving Hano, The Story of a Refugee Dog. My students are fascinated by refugee stories, all kinds of them, from picture books to graphic novels to middle grade novels, and we're excited to add this one. I really need to read it. It's not very big. I need to read that book. Catching a Storyfish, another novel in verse. Have not read this book. You can tell novels in verse are taking over the class, which is exciting. Another kid reading a Wimpy Kid, The Meltdown. I'm running out of room. You won't be able to see me soon. Kwame Alexander's booked, also wildly popular. Let's pile over here. Tale Dark and Grim, Adam Gidwitz's amazing trilogy. A lot of kids have read multiple books in this series this year, which is super exciting. They're really digging it, and it's so easy for them to convince other kids to read it. It's an easy book talk. Next up, Judy Moody. Don't sleep on Judy Moody. These books are great. Bucket list one. I had to explain what a bucket list was to this student who wanted to read. She's like, what's a bucket list? So we talked about it. She was hooked. All right, 2 more books. 47 people you'll meet in middle school. I think this was in a different video I made. The girl who was reading this, and they sit next to each other, and she was talking about it. So now this girl recommended it to this girl. Love when that happens. And finally, the last 5th grade at Emerson Elementary by Laura Chauvin. It's Poetry Month, so maybe that has something to do with all of these. We haven't really talked about it being Poetry Month. We just celebrate things all the time. But this is a wonderful story of a 5th grade classroom who is the last 5th grade at their elementary. What a perfect book to read as you finish up your 6-year career in elementary school. So these are all the books that my wonderful students are reading. Let me know down in the comments below what books your kids are reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have an awesome day and happy reading.